Hey everybody, before we get started, I just wanted to say, if you enjoy our content and want to stay up to date with our videos, hit the subscribe button. It really helps the channel. Thanks. So, on to the video.
Dawntrail opens with your party heading to the New World by ship from Old Sharlayan. You have been invited by Claimant Wuklamat to help her win the throne in the upcoming Rite of Succession. Prial found an old letter that was for her grandfather Galef, sent from the current Dawn servant Golul Jaja. Galef was tasked by the current ruler to investigate the fabled city of gold. Alongside the letter, Prial found an old earring. Looking into this further, Prial found no records of this investigation in the students of Baldessian's archives. So in order to learn more, she is coming along on this journey. Additionally, Alize and Alphano are tagging along, and then we have Arenville, who is actually from Tural, and he has not been back to his homeland in quite some time. After braving a sea storm, you arrive at the New World.
Blue seas, clear skies, and boundless possibilities. I dare say our destination will soon be in sight.
Enjoying yourself for a change?
There, look, my friends. Behold the scene of our next great adventure.
At last, we are come to the land you call the New World. To my home, Tuliyollal.
Upon arrival, you take note of the diverse and peaceful city of Tuliyollal, this nation's capital. Your party splits up to explore the city before heading into the palace. Wuklamat guides you, showing you the sights and giving you some history about her people and the city. Once you both explore enough of the city, she excitedly takes you to one of her favorite locations to share a local delicacy, tacos. While waiting for your food, you hear locals mention a mercenary band looking for the Golden City. It seems as though the legend of the Golden City is well known among the people, and rumor is anyone who searches for the Golden City goes missing. Arenville spent much of his younger years looking for the city, but never found it. Prial's letter is partially why he is returning home after all this time. Once you receive your food, Wuklamat leads you outside to find a place to eat. She bumps into a large Mamul Jaw and drops her food, crushing it. This Mamul Jaw is named Bakul Jaja, chosen of Mamuk and candidate for Dawn servant. Bakul Jaja is a blessed sibling, a Mamul Jaw born with two heads. Blessed siblings are incredibly rare and are often raised to statuses of leadership. Golul Jaja, the current Dawn servant, is a blessed sibling as well. Bakul Jaja was chosen by his clan to represent them in the Rite of Succession. After crushing your food, Bakul Jaja attempts to bait Wuklamat into a fight, but Prial diffuses the situation. You then head to the palace to present yourself to the Dawn servant. When you arrive, you find a two-headed Mamul Jaw and a familiar friend sparring. The Mamul Jaw is Golul Jaja, Dawn servant. His opponent is your old dragoon companion Estinian. Wuklamat explains that whenever her father finds a promising opponent, he invites them to the palace to duel. Golul Jaja notices your arrival and ends their match, complimenting Estinian on his strength, as he has not fought someone so strong in quite some time. Alphino wonders why Estinian is in Tyrol. He simply says he already went east, so the only other direction was west. Estinian describes how impressed he is by Gulul Jaja's strength, as he was only battling one head. Wuklamat explains that the one they've been speaking to is known as the Head of Resolve, and is the one of the two heads that loves combat. The one covered with a veil is the Head of Reason. According to Wuklamat, the Head of Reason spends most of its days sleeping due to his age. Gulul Jaja introduces himself and takes note of his daughter's companions. He then summons the other claimants into the room. We are introduced to the rest of the claimants. First, there is Zoral Jal, Gulul Jaja's true-born son and the first promise. Then there is Koana, adopted son and the second promise. Gulul Jaja explains why he is holding the right of succession. He is growing old, and the torch of Dawn Servant has never been passed before. Using the Mamulja right of succession as inspiration, he plans on yielding his throne to the winner. In the past, this right was only for two-headed Mamulja, but in his kingdom, he believes their leader does not need to be Mamulja or two-headed, as it is a land of many diverse people. Thus, he gave the opportunity to claim the throne to his true-born son and his adopted children. A tournament was also held, with the prize being the opportunity to claim the throne, which is how Bakul Jaja entered the right. Gulul Jaja then reveals the requirement for victory: to travel the land of Tyrol and find the City of Gold. This confirms to everyone that the Golden City is indeed real, as Gulul Jaja has been there before. Before the founding of his nation, he traveled the lands with his companions, and his journey ended at the gates of the City of Gold. He wishes for the claimants to do the same, and the winner will be whoever breaks the seal that he placed at the city gates. He then gives tablets to all the claimants. These tablets depict his past journey through Tyrol. By retracing his steps through the continent, the claimants will collect keystones from different representatives of the tribes of Tyrol. Once all keystones are collected, the claimant will have the ability to unlock the Golden City's seal. Gulul Jaja officially starts the rite and sends the claimants on their way. As the room clears out, Cryo steps up to Gulul Jaja and introduces herself. She then asks about the letter she found, asking her grandfather to investigate the Golden City. Gulul Jaja is sadly unable to answer her question, as it would give Wuklamat an unfair advantage. He then says he is planning to tell his successor everything about the city. So if she wants more information, her best interest is to help Wuklamat win the throne. Afterwards, the claimants walk out to the people of Tuliyollal. Arenville explains a bit more what each claimant is about. Zoral Jah leads the army, and he and his followers wish to conquer foreign lands. Cryo experiences Zoral's ambition with the Echo and describes it as an unquenchable fire, terrifying her. Koana walks out next. He is focused on integrating new technology from across the seas to make trade and the people's lives easier. But he seems to ignore tradition in his fast pursuit of progress. Bakul Jaja walks out next. He is supported by few Mamulja traditionalists who see two-headed Mamulja as the only ones fit to rule. Arenville does not know what Bakul Jaja plans to do with the throne, but he is sure that if Bakul Jaja wins, he will exalt the Mamulja as the ruling class. Then finally, out comes Wuklamat. Her goal is to keep the peace, as her father has done all these years. Her supporters are older citizens who remember the times when war ravaged the land. She has much less supporters, as she does not have as many accomplishments as her brothers. She then introduces the party to her nursemaid, Namika, who she considers like a mother. Namika wanted to see Wuklamat off and gives her some words of encouragement. Then, following the Dawn Servant's footsteps, the party decides to get their first keystones from either the Pelu Pelu or the Hanu Hanu. The Pelu Pelu's elector is named Tobli. Each elector is given freedom to create their own feat for the claimant to complete. Tobli's feat is to capture and tame a wild alpaca. Wuklamat doesn't seem to have much rapport with the animals.
Ah! The little monster spat on me! Ah, oh, it stinks. I can't.
Recently, a storm came by and destroyed much of their village, and their usual renewal festival was postponed. She believes by raising the spirit of the villagers and hosting the festival, it may spark more ideas among them. The festival is celebrated with a float of reeds being carried by the Hanu Hanu. When you check in on it, it is clear that it has fallen into disrepair due to the storm. As you investigate it, you talk to a local villager to learn more about its components. Alphano realizes that the float is an arcane focus of some sort. The float was created to encourage healthy crops. Wuklamot believes if they fix the float and hold a festival, its arcane powers might fix whatever is wrong with the reeds. After gathering the necessary materials and fighting off Bakul Jajal's schemes, the festival is held and the reeds spring to life using the arcane focus. Koana is able to save the reeds in his own way, using a chemical that enhances etherical conductivity, as stagnant ether was the reason for the reeds' poor condition. Wuklamot and Koana claim their keystones. Next, the party heads to the Moblin Settlement. Before getting on the boat, you bump into Koana, who introduces his allies in the right of succession, Yuri Anje and Thancred. Koana heard much about the two while his time in Charlian, and once the contest was confirmed to start, he made contact with the duo to recruit them. They both pledged to do everything in their power to help Koana win the throne, even fighting their old friends. Koana and his team decide to walk to the next location instead of taking a boat up the river, as he believes they would most likely get attacked and have no place to retreat. And he was correct, as Bakul Jaja attacks your boat, delaying your journey up the river. Once things have settled down, the party takes time to rest. Wuklamot talks more about her origins, how she was adopted by Gulul Jaja, and how life was being raised alongside Koana and Zeralja. Gathering the first two keystones, Wuklamot realized how much of a sheltered life she's lived and does not truly understand her people and what they need. She feels inadequate compared to her strong and genius brothers. But after some soul searching, Wuklamot realizes that her wanting the throne has nothing to do with her brothers. She simply wants her best for her people, and continuing the peace created by her father is what she believes is the best way. She shakes off her doubts and vows to learn more about her people on this journey and find the City of Gold. The next morning, the party heads to the village of the Moblins. The Moblins' culture revolves around making agreements with talented goldsmiths. These goldsmiths become their potsworn, and the Moblins provide them everything they need to focus on their craft. This partnership outputs what is known as the finest gold and metalwork in Tural. In the past, Moblins would kidnap people and force them to create their works. But after working with Gulul Jaja, he convinced the Moblins that having willing and happy crafters would increase quality and production. The results spoke for themselves. Rhetoric is the elector's name, and they simply want the Claimants to convince a new and talented goldsmith to become a potsworn. Wuklamot's potsworn is a Eorzean goldsmith that traveled here the same time you did. After helping him get set up in Tural and finding him some work, he was the most likely candidate that would be fine relocating to work with the Moblins. Before you head back, Wuklamot says there's some time to get rest, and on the way to your cabin, you receive a summons from the Dawn Servant. Gulul Jaja could not contain himself after hearing you were back in the city, so he summoned you in order to challenge you to a duel. He compliments your strength and is impressed that the stories of your strength are true, but he also admits that he had another reason for summoning you. He wished to test you, to see if you were worthy to be guiding Wuklamot. But after sparring with you, he has no doubts that you could defend his daughter. He also wishes to know your true opinion about Wuklamot and her ability to rule. You both agree that she is not quite ready to rule at this time. Gulul Jaja then admits that all four claimants are lacking. He is holding the right of succession not to choose who should rule, but to grow one of the claimants into someone who can. And if none of the claimants have impressed him by the end, he would call the whole thing off and stay in his throne. He hopes his children will rise to the occasion and believes that your and the Scion's influence will widen their perspectives for the better. He asks you that you continue to guide his daughter. Afterwards, you and your party guide your goldsmith to the Moblins. While traveling, we cut to Zeralja and his companion guiding their craftsmen.
Finding a willing artisan was even easier than expected. Many indeed are eager to curry favor with the Resilient Sun, especially if it means sharing the promise of new territories. Those who prove useful will have all the land they desire. Such generous words, yet the manner in which he speaks them. If neither wealth nor territory are of value, wherefore does he seek to bring the world to heel? Step aside.
Remind me, there was no rule against poaching craftsmen from other claimants, was there?
Do not be foolish, Bakujaja.
Foolish would be carrying on with these dull feats when all I need to win are the Keystones. And besides, it's long past time I humble this arrogant one-head. The Dawntrail may have sired you against all odds, but there is nothing blessed about your birth. Only a two-head is fit to rule. Only we are worthy. Draw your weapon! Face me in battle, and learn your place.
A moment, First Promise. Leave him alive, if you would. I foresee a use for this nuisance.
Too scared to make the first move? Then allow me! But he's just a runt.
My thanks for your restraint. I can kill him whenever I please. Your part in this is far from over.
We then cut back to the village of Moblins, where Wuklamot gets her third keystone. Koana and Tuliyollal arrive soon after and claim their stones as well. Next, your party begins to head to the home of the giants. But on your way, you are stopped by a pink-haired man. He tells Wuklamot that Elector Roderick forgot to give her something very important and is asking her to come back. Wuklamot believes the man and says that this should not take very long and heads back alone to the Moblin village. A very long time passes and Wuklamot is nowhere to be found.